Is Kyle Dubas retiring? I don't know.
Changing here. McDavid, beautiful move. Front back the ball, over to Crosby. He scores! Crosby, 500! Watch this play between the legs, comes right back to him.
But man, oh man, has his kid got some hands.
In the net, it looks like he's going for the old Michigan. He brings it up. Miller goes to knock it off. He shoots it in front.
Oh, what a pass!
Away, gains the zone around Kubalik. Back to Foligno. He scores! A lot of mustard on it.
Ovechkin scores! The Grade 8 Express pulls into third place all time.
This is the Pucked Up Podcast.
Welcome back, Mother Puckers. Welcome to another episode of the Pucked Up Podcast. I am your host, D-Bag, and I am joined by the ever-lovely Chris and the always beautiful Danger Water.
Thank you.
I'm
we
lovely
are
this week.
Back at it.
Glad to be back.
You are
this
lovely
week,
this
yeah.
week, Chris. Take it in. Soak it all in.
I know, and we have
Right?
Danger back this week.
I
The
know.
Danger back this week.
Dude, it was
She
so
wasn't feeling too
weird.
good last
Oh.
week.
So weird doing a podcast without you, though.
Yeah. Last week, my brain just went, haha, how about we make you feel like your brain is in a vice grip
Dude,
all
I-
of the evening.
I get migraines too, so I know 100% that pain, and it's so
It's
debilitating.
debilitating,
There's
man.
nothing
Yeah.
you
It
can
is.
do.
Well,
Like
and
I
like
said earlier,
said,
it sucks the life out of you.
yeah. Well, and with my vacation coming up and all of that, it's like I can't not go to work. So I've been
Right.
pushing myself and making sure I go to my shifts. But then by the time I get home, I'm like, I'm done.
Can't do
Like
anything,
I don't want to. I don't want to even be vertical, let alone talk to people. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's just it's been tough.
Or like stare at a
Um,
computer screen, which just
right,
does not
right.
help with headaches or
No.
migraines.
Exactly.
So,
But
I totally get it.
thankfully, my gifts from my BFF have made my migraines a little bit better.
Good,
Yeah, those
good,
things
I'm
are
glad.
killer,
Yeah,
man.
that-
Lily gets
that
migraines real
there,
bad
I
too, and she
think-
loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to a client this morning as I was working on her about like sinus infections and stuff. And I'm like, oh, that thing will be so nice. Like I can heat it up too for
Yeah.
sinus infections because then it pulls
Mm.
down all the way here. But I just
Mhm.
love like it blocks out all the sunlight. You can pull it down over your eyes and ears, so it
Mhm.
helps with me because that's where I get the most sensitive with my migraines. It's light and sound.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's like when I start to get nauseous from them, I know like that's the really bad ones, and that's what it's been like 3
Yeah.
out of the last 8 days. The rest of them they've just been light and sound, and I want to hate the world. But
I know, because you guys have had to cancel Double D 3 weeks in a
Yeah.
row because of your
yeah,
migraines.
3 weeks. Yeah. But hopefully we'll be back with that on that front next
Oh, yeah.
week,
And
too,
with
so.
less than
Yeah,
normal
the
being
new location.
off for a couple weeks, it's like this
Right,
kind of
yeah,
nice little
it made
spring
sense.
break for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me forever to realize that there's a cat in your lap or on your desk
Yes,
or something.
Garfield.
That just freaked me the fuck out. It looked like a
It's a little
snake.
tail,
Garfield's
yeah.
in my lap.
Yeah.
No, you are not getting on my fucking computer. Get down.
Oh god, Clara
Get down.
loves
Homie.
to like climb across my laptop.
No,
I
I'm
finally
covered
got
in-
the little hammock hung up on the wall over
I
here.
saw. That's so
Cute.
cute.
And Callie loves it. Clara hasn't gotten up there on her own yet, but Callie will jump up there. Matt put Clara up there, so I know it at least holds her, but
Right.
it's super funny. But yeah, Callie loves it,
Aw.
which is I'm like, okay, good. I'm
I
glad.
know. I'm here
It
for
works.
it.
Yeah.
Here for it.
Right.
Well, what do you say
Yes.
we dive into where we're at? Because we've had some things happen even since
Yes.
last week that are unexpected. So, Chris, why don't you give us an update on where we are with the Stanley Cup playoff standing?
All right, so we are in currently, as of time of recording, Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals is happening right now. Last time I checked, in the second period, Vegas is up 4-0 over Dallas. And on the other side, last week, D and I were both very, very adamant, and we locked our picks in.
Yeah.
Well, by this time next week when we record, we may have both been incredibly wrong because
Yeah.
the Carolina Hurricanes are one game away from being swept by the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And like, let's
Right?
also pause and talk about the fact game one went into 4 fucking overtimes,
Dude.
which Chris and I watched together, and we were losing our goddamn minds.
We were both like,
Game
someone
2 went
score.
into
Just, I don't
overtime.
care who. Someone score.
Yeah.
Right.
So game 2 went into overtime. But then for Vegas and Dallas, both of their games so far have gone into overtime.
Yeah.
Like,
The only
why?
game so
Right.
far that hasn't gone into overtime is Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals, which was still a 1-0 game. It was still a 1-0 win over
Yeah.
for Florida.
Which if the current game, if the Vegas Dallas game holds out the way it's been going, I mean Vegas is up at 4-0, so that could be
It's going to be the
a
highest scoring
regulation
game of the
game,
conference
too.
finals this
Mhm.
year.
Yeah.
I think that we are not wrong in what we've been saying about Carolina. Carolina's really good.
Yes.
But I
Right.
think the biggest thing that's different is goaltending.
Well,
Sergei Bobrovsky
honestly-
is just lights
Goddamn
out. He
monster.
made 32 saves the other day.
Yeah.
I think that the Panthers have just gotten some serious fucking mojo.
They're hungry.
So I think what's happening here, is that
They're hangry.
they are on such a roll right
you know what?
now.
Hangry might be the better term
hangry,
right now.
hangry is a little bit more accurate.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Fair.
they're just they've had everybody's number, in particular Carolina. But it's been impressive. I'm not overly
has.
happy about it, but it's been impressive.
Yeah,
And, I mean, to
for
be
sure.
fair, these have been close contests too. I mean, the
Right.
first game was 3-2 in 4 fucking overtimes.
Yeah.
Second was
Right.
just 2-1 again with an OT. And last night was 1-0. Like these aren't blowouts. They're not dominating in that way. Like
Right.
it's still,
Right.
all things considered, a tight game.
But like,
Right.
also look at the fact of this team has a lot of doubters, and this team has
Yeah.
a lot of, well, they're lucky to be here because they
Mhm.
are. They
They
barely
are.
squeaked into the playoffs due to a wild card. But
Wild
then
card
look
slot.
what they did. They took out the
Yeah.
best team or best regular season team in the history of the
The number
NHL in
one
7
team.
games.
Right.
Then they went out and
Yeah.
took out a team that honestly I expected to make the conference finals in Toronto. Believe it or not, I expected them to make the conference finals. They took them out in 5 games. Now they are 1 win away from sweeping the team that we all thought was going to come out of the Eastern.
Right.
And their mentality is, why not us? Why not us?
Right. Right.
And I think
Not
that's
you,
a
'cause I don't want it to be you. That's
if
why not.
I'm Vegas or Dallas, I don't want to play the Florida Panthers right now. They're the
Yeah, dude.
hottest team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're coming in on a mess. If they sweep, that is such a hot streak.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
they've
To
only
have done
lost
what they did.
4 games in the playoffs.
Yeah.
4.
Mhm.
Exactly. And so
it's-
far, I mean, like their first round against Boston was the only one that went all 7 frames.
yeah,
The next one only went 5.
and that game,
Like-
game 7 went to overtime in round 1.
Yeah.
Like it came down to the wire.
But that's what's even
Right.
more insane to me. Look at all the OT games that the Panthers themselves have played since like round 1 of this series.
Yeah.
The fact that they're still fucking alive. Like
Yeah.
honestly, they have to be hopped up on something.
Dude, in
They
2
gotta be
games, they played
juicing
5
something.
overtime periods in 2 games.
Yeah. Like I just can't imagine how fucking sore they are. They're all taking ice baths every night, salt
right.
baths every night. Like
And it's been
They
a
are in
physical
It's been
contest.
physical.
Each game
Yeah.
has been pretty physical. So not only are you mentally like fatigued, but physically they got a lot of bumps and bruises.
Right.
Yeah.
I,
But then you flip the coin to the other side, and I think we all expected this to go this way. Like
Mhm.
Dallas is good, and I think
Yeah.
I'm not totally shocked that they got this far, but the problem is they're playing a juggernaut. Vegas is dangerous. And they've
Absolutely.
proven that by, the farthest they went was 6 with Edmonton. They
Mhm.
took them 5 games to beat Winnipeg. So like that was the only team I think was standing in their way was Edmonton, because like when it comes to that part of the bracket, I don't think LA would have had anything for him, and I'm not
Yeah.
surprised that LA only went 6 with Edmonton, because like they're young, they're a playoff team, but they're not like ready and experienced to go any farther to make a cup run. And I think the
Right.
only other team that would have stopped him is Colorado, but they lost in 7 to Seattle. So
Yeah.
I think we're
Which
seeing
couldn't have made me happier.
yeah, right.
Personally.
But I think we're seeing what our matchup is gonna be for the finals, and honestly, I don't know who's gonna win that.
Yeah.
It'll
don't-
be entertaining hockey for sure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but we will see by the time this comes out, by the time this goes live, we'll already know,
Hmm.
or for the most part, we'll have a very good idea of what our Stanley Cup finals are gonna look like.
Right.
But
I mean, we could have at least one final tomorrow night, one final team.
or we could see Carolina
Or
and
we
Dallas
don't.
come
Please
back
go to
in
7.
7 and win.
Right.
I mean, a Carolina, yes, please. Dallas, no, you can
Anything
roll over on Thursday.
That's the crazy part about playoff hockey, and we've been saying
Anything
this
could happen.
forever. Anything can happen, and
Yeah.
usually it does happen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Speaking though of anything can happen, Kyle Dubas was just let go from his GM position from Toronto, which he became GM at fucking 28 years old. 27?
Which is
No, 28. He's
insane.
37 now. So he
Yeah.
was GM there for 9 years. Is now 37 and was just let go. So the question we have this week is, what do we think is next for Kyle now that obviously he's not going back to Toronto this season? When we originally came up with this question, my response was like, I don't know, dude. I think honestly at this point he's just going to become a fucking astronaut or some shit, because
Right.
what do you do after being a GM for 9 years at 37?
I know.
Right.
I mean, I guess he could go to another team, and I have heard that the Pens are interviewing him, which
There's a lot of
might
teams
be a
that
good
are.
fit for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That could be.
There's a few teams that have let go of their GMs, so
Right.
like I think Avalanche too are looking into that.
My team does not have that spot filled yet. Oh no,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, we
so-
do. We haven't got rid of Pat Verbeek, which she's doing
Yeah.
well.
So he has tons of options, but it's like, what do you do? Also, like, hopefully he was a smart enough man not to have put all of his, spent all of his money as it came in, and he has some time, and so he can like just
Right.
wait till the team that he
Right.
wants to go to calls. You
Oh,
know?
Right. Very
let's
true.
look at the last 9 seasons. Kyle Dubas, as 9 years, it is a long time to look at where Toronto was in 2014. This man has not only drafted generational talents like Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews. That team in the last 9 years since he's been there has only missed the playoffs 2 times. Granted, yes, the joke of them only being a first round team, but still, he has still managed to create a playoff team that has been 7 straight seasons in the playoffs.
Right.
Those are good
Yeah.
numbers.
Right.
I just like we're saying, he's young. He's 37. Obviously, he's shown that he
Can we get a
clearly
soundbite
knows
of
what he's
you
doing.
saying that 37 is young because you turn around and say 37's old
It's-
when
well,
you're making
it's-
fun of me. So
No, I say 37
I
is
just want
old
that
in a
sound.
player sense. Like, in a player sense, yes, that is in fact old.
No,
As a GM,
I'm
no,
just-
he's like
I'm
a
giving
baby.
yeah, no, I'm just giving you a hard time because when I like realized, and these guys could attest to it, because I just I made an assumption, and you know what happens when you assume things,
Right.
and I was like, I don't know, he'll probably just retire. And then they're like, he's 37, and then
Yeah.
I went, fuck, what have I done with my life? Not a goddamn
Right.
thing. Like, that man is a GM at
Well,
28 or 29, and
so-
I have done fuck all. Like.
Technically, he became an assistant GM.
Okay.
in 2014.
Yeah.
So I
Fair.
guess like we'll
Fair.
set the record straight there.
Fair.
And then after the 2017-18 season, he I guess in 2018 officially, he was named as the 17th general manager of the club. He also did play hockey until he was 14 when he had to retire due to concussions.
Yeah. But I mean,
Okay.
Had so many
still,
concussions that he was like, I
even
can't play hockey anymore.
even in that
Right.
5-year
14.
span, he helped grow that team better than where it was when he first started. Uh, he got John Tavares to come back home. Like, that was
Right.
huge. Although he has made some shoddy trades, or trades that probably could have helped lead them to cups, like Nassim Kadri.
Right.
Mhm.
But no, I do agree with you, D. Maybe a place like Pittsburgh would actually be a viable spot for him. And
Yeah.
I know that
Yeah.
there's still a few teams that are looking for a GM. I think the question's not if he gets another job; it's when and with who.
Well, and I think it's also
Yeah.
not just like when in terms of like will we see it this season, but I think it's his timeline of when.
Yeah.
Because he has two kids. He might just be like, you know what? I want to take a season off and be around for my
Yeah.
two young
Yeah.
kids. And
Well,
like
hell,
totally
if
fine.
he's been good with his finances, he could maybe take a few years off until they
Yeah.
get, into, I don't know how old they are, but my thought
I think his
is,
kids are fairly young.
Yeah.
yeah, so
So
maybe until they get into school age or middle school or whatever, the next threshold would be.
yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, I certainly understand the feeling of having like my kid will be a freshman next year,
Yeah.
and I don't know how that happened, but I wouldn't blame him for taking a year or two off to be home with his kids and his wife and stuff.
Or to focus on the other stuff he's doing.
Yep.
Apparently, at the 2015 MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference, he presented about how analytics has limited the impact of cognitive bias in personnel decisions. So, like, that's what his management was all about, was like looking at the data to then remove all bias about if a player is good, right? So, like, looking at, you know, to use Ovechkin as an example, to look at his stats, what he's actually putting up, instead of getting caught up in like the hype train
Yeah.
of getting him past Gretzky. Dubas would be more like, well, he's not producing as much as he should. You know what I mean? That would be
Yeah.
more of his take on things.
Which
So he
is
might just like decide to pivot into doing that, into being like an analyst for multiple teams and
Yeah.
helping them
Right.
figure their shit out.
well, because that's how
Right.
sports are going. I mean,
Mhm.
baseball is the prime example for like the plyometrics and analytics and such,
Yeah.
is how you run your team now. And
Right.
Right.
that's slowly trickling into football, slowly into basketball, and obviously it's going to make its way into hockey. And Kyle
Mhm.
Dubas has been
Right.
doing this for a few years now, and obviously you see, granted, yes, they still haven't won a cup, but Toronto's consistently good. And every year
Mhm.
we know, listen, we can guarantee a couple teams in the playoffs, and I can always guarantee that Toronto's going to be there.
Right.
Right.
But I'd like to see that. But I'd like to see what he could do with another team. I'd like to see
Yeah.
if he can, like a team like, let's say, like the Coyotes, or a team that's not good. I would love to see him try to rebuild a franchise
Yeah.
and see what he
Yeah.
can do.
Fair.
And I gotta say,
Yeah.
there's a couple of, since we're talking about him, I did pull up a few items. So there's a couple of stories I want to share that I think show that he's kind of the GM that we really would need in the NHL to move it forward. So in 2019, it was reported that Ilya Mikheyev suffered a severe skate blade cut. It was a big story at the time. Anyway, he had to go into the ER, obviously, for surgery to repair a tendon and an artery. That's how deep that cut was to Ilya.
Wow.
Dubas spent 3 days keeping Mikheyev company in the hospital until he was cleared to travel back to Toronto,
That's
which is not
awesome.
something that you hear about from
A GM.
a GM. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so then he and the assistant athletic trainer, John Geller, cleared their schedules so that he would have, there was not just him there, but yeah, those two people hung out with him for 3 days so that he would have people around him because they were in New Jersey and Newark at the time.
Yeah.
So they didn't want him to be alone, which is really cool.
That's
And the other
awesome.
story that I think is talks about a headline that we touched on earlier this season. In the 2018-2019 season, he was praised because there were allegations that defenseman Morgan Riley used a homophobic slur during the game. Riley was cleared the following day after an investigation by the NHL. At the press conference the following day, though, Dubas said, "It's incumbent on us in management to build an environment if someone were gay or were questioning their sexual orientation, that they don't feel that they have to come in here and be somebody that they're not." So he was very public that, like, the investigation cleared him, but we still don't, appreciate that kind of language, and it wouldn't be tolerated here.
Right.
And so I think
Right.
him coming out and publicly taking that stance is awesome. He also had a belief in increasing the diversity of the Maple Leaf staff. He said that research shows that more diverse your organization is, the better your decision making and the better your operation in general. If you're only hiring white males, and I'm saying that as a white male, you're probably leaving a lot of good people in terms of where your organization can go and how it can think and how it can evolve and how it can develop.
Yeah.
So I think he has a much needed perspective for the NHL. So I hope he sticks around, and I hope we see more guys like him.
Oh yeah. And as the old guard, and this is not a bash at the older GMs, because obviously they know what they're doing and they've been around forever. But as you see more of younger guys like Kyle come in, I think we're going to see a lot more of this type of thing. Because it's, you look at, it's a generational thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And not to bash it's okay that there's a generational gap between people. Things, that is how time works.
Right.
Absolutely.
But it's great to see a young guy come in and be like, we're going to do things a little differently here,
Right. Yeah.
So I
And
can agree. I'd like to see him
it
somewhere
kind of
else.
worked. Like, they finally parted ways with him as GM, but like, look at what he's done for Toronto in the last however many years. You know what I mean? So, hats off to you, Kyle. Hopefully you get what you want out of this next chapter in life, whatever that may be.
And we hope to see you back in an organization at some point soon. It doesn't matter where.
Absolutely.
I think he would. I do. Now, the more I think about it, though, the more I feel like Pittsburgh could be a really good fit for him.
Yeah, and
I think there's a
can
couple
make
options.
some positive changes in Pittsburgh. I
Yeah.
think because the only way to make the changes that need to be made are from within, and it's just finding the right organization that will give him that leeway, and ability to help make the difference.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hopefully.
Well, on that note, let's go to just a funny bit of news.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it counts as news, but
It was just cute.
yeah.
So Chris and I are both big WWE fans, and I missed this because I struggled with migraines, so I didn't watch Raw on Monday. But Bruce Boudreau had a little like cameo appearance of sorts for a digital exclusive, so they were back to the locker room, and there's Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who are tag team champions right now, and have a big match coming up on Saturday when they're in Saudi Arabia for Night of Champions, and they're both Canadian. They're both from Montreal, but Bruce is in the background or in the locker room talking to him, and it just kind of giving them a nice little pep talk. And the best line was the last one, and Kevin looks at Sammy and is like, "Should we go with Bruce?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's go with Bruce." And then he's like, "Sorry, coach," like as he's kind of laying into him a little bit about not like doing what he needed him to do and disappointing Bruce and all of this stuff. It was just so cute, so fun. Chris, I think you said that you could see Bruce throughout the night in the like row or second row or something.
Yeah, I think he was, from what I heard, I think he was around for like most of the show.
Yeah, most of the show.
He was like
so
very visible on camera for like a majority of the show.
But that's awesome.
I never would have thought that he would be a fan of wrestling.
I could see it. Big time fan.
I could see it. Definitely could see it.
Just makes me love him that much more, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so it was just a cute little bit. It was nice to see Bruce branching out. Maybe we'll see him become a manager of some wrestlers. We'll have to see. Fun. Everybody else has jumped into WWE stuff. Maybe Bruce will too.
But like as he was coaching them, and you see Sammy go, "Oh, hold on, let me pull my phone out and take some
he's like, "Let me take notes.
Yeah.
Let me take notes."
Yeah, it was
Listen to what Bruce says. It was really cute.
It was so cute.
fun and lighthearted, and
Yeah.
I can tell you that's, I know this is a hockey podcast, but like that's one of the reasons why I'm a wrestling fan. Is just like
Right.
because like the little fun stuff like that just makes it so much more enjoyable.
Right.
Yeah.
But shout
Well, I
out to
think
Bruce.
that was like I think that was a moment for like Bruce's personality to shine through.
Oh yeah.
He gets those
Absolutely.
moments all the time, but I think it was needed.
Yeah.
Excuse me, obviously after the season he had with the Canucks, like
Yeah.
for him to get that opportunity for people to like, oh, we want to hear what you have to say. This is cool.
Yeah.
Should we go with Coach
Yeah.
Boudreaux?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
No.
Yeah.
I think that was just so necessary for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just wanted Danger to talk about it today because it was like just the cutest little human interest piece.
It was so cute. It was so cute. And if you haven't seen the clip, just Google it. It pops right up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously
Yeah,
it's
it was
fun
Kevin
for
Owens and Sammy
Kevin
G.
and Sammy because they're both Canadian.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah,
they
real
are both
fans
of
very
hockey.
big hockey fans.
Yeah.
They've both talked about it. So having,
Yeah.
Bruce Boudreaux show up and be like, oh, yeah, no, thanks, coach. Thanks for...
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, if you guys need any, if you're not feeling it, just text me or give me a call. And I'm like, I love
I'm
this.
here for you
I
guys.
love this.
But you got to do
Yeah.
this and this and this when you're in Saudi Arabia. And it was just like,
It was great.
Okay, like, all right, coach.
It was so cool.
It was just
so
cool.
cool.
It was a nice little lighthearted moment from him.
And I don't know, there haven't been any reports on it yet, but like I don't know how all that came about. Like, was he just at the show, had really good
I
seats,
have
and like, holy
no
shit,
idea.
that's Bruce fucking Boudreaux? Like,
Well, I know
do you think
Triple
he'd
H
be
is
interested,
also a
or-
big hockey fan. So, like, there's a good
Yeah.
chance that there was, some sort of... He happened to just be there, and they're like, hey, Bruce, do you want to do something with us?
Right.
And he was
right.
like, okay,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, because Bruce
Well,
is down
so
for
yes,
all of that.
Yes, I do want to do something. Thanks for asking.
absolutely.
That man is a gem, and the hockey community
He's a
needs to
goddamn-
protect him at all
I
costs.
was going to say, he's a
Protect him
goddamn
at all
national
costs.
treasure. Yeah.
Oh, what a legend.
But yeah, it
Absolutely.
was very cute.
Love it.
Very cute. So, and this will
for
be
it.
like the fastest injury report ever, I think, right here.
Yeah.
Because there's really only a couple of new ones. So Andre Kase or whatever. I'm not going to struggle with my brain today.
Fine.
He's still on long-term IR. They're saying he won't return till the beginning of June. I would be surprised if they come back. I mean, honestly, it's Carolina. I don't. As much as I want them to move on, I don't know that they are. So
Yeah,
And Kasha's been out. He has not played
for a long
since
For a while.
October.
Yeah,
He has not played since October. That is his last game, which is
Wow.
insane. So he's been out almost all season.
yep.
Right. And then for Florida, we saw Alexander Barkov. He is out with a lower body injury. He may or may not play tomorrow, which is Wednesday, for Game 4.
hmm
And then
They don't need him.
Dallas. Yeah,
He can sit out. It's
Dallas
fine.
has nobody hurt right now.
Fucking incredible.
Update
honestly.
Right?
update your
At
list
this-
because if I see Evgeny Dodonov. Refresh your page because he just popped
I
up
just
for me.
put
Oh,
mine
yeah.
up just before.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You got need to down off. So he is out with a lower body injury. May be active for Game 4 Thursday night against the.
So that literally just happened during
Yeah,
the
It,
game.
yeah,
then,
it had to have just
Yeah.
happened.
because
I-
it was
yeah.
not there when I pulled it up 40 minutes
No.
ago.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you for catching that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And then for Vegas, Logan Thompson is the other new one. Out of commission with lower body injury as well, remaining idle till at least the beginning of June. Again, I don't know for sure that we'll see him, but and Laurent is still out right now, well,
Yeah.
indeterminate amount of time now. But yeah, so I
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing for goalies because they've got
It's
3
just
goalies
Aiden
out,
Hill.
so,
It's literally just
Yeah.
Aiden Hill.
yeah, which is crazy. But yeah, so
That's
that's all we have for new injuries or updated injuries. The rest of them are all
Amazing.
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the quickest segment that this has
Right?
ever been. And there was no
Like,
bad
and
boys
this is
this
gonna
week
be-
either.
There wasn't any, no.
But there fucking will be.
There will be, yeah. What, Jamie Ben?
Jamie
was
Ben,
Jamie or Jordy?
It was
yeah.
Jamie tonight. During Game 3, tripped
kind of an
a
ass.
Vegas player, stole the stick out of his hand, and while he was on the ground, completely cross-checked him right in the jaw and neck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And was given a 5-minute major and a game misconduct. So 100% he's getting a fine, at least.
Yeah.
At
I
least.
mean, I
minimum.
don't know though. We've seen some crazy things happen from player safety. Dops is sometimes just on one with stuff like this. So I hope we see
Yeah,
something.
but I think enough people are already making a big deal about it on social
Yeah.
media that
Oh,
they're
yeah.
gonna have to do something about it.
Which a 1-game suspension would mean
Yeah.
that, I mean, Jamie Benn is a producer for that team, so
He's the
that's
captain.
that's a huge possibility that that's the final nail in the Stars' coffin, who are currently down, by the way, still 4-0 halfway through the third. So
Yeah, it's not good. It's not looking great for them.
it's not looking great for them. It's not looking fantastic. Well,
Right.
with that, I think it's time we head over to our final and favorite segment, the obscure player of the week. So, Chris, take it away.
You know, I think I will take this one away. This
You
week,
kind of don't have a choice, dude.
You know what? That's fair. This was my bit that I pitched,
your bit.
so it's
Yeah.
on me. It's on
I
me.
can't do it. Yeah.
So this week, our obscure player of the week is a gentleman by the name of Jeremy Morin. Was born in Auburn, New York. He is our age, D.
Wow.
Drafted 45th overall in 2009 by the Atlanta Thrashers.
Okay.
Which I haven't heard that name
when
in a while.
Like, I was graduating high school, about to graduate high school around that time.
I was a sophomore or junior.
Yeah, I was a junior.
What year was it?
2009.
Oh, that was the year after my child was born. Awesome.
I was a junior because that's when Lily was born. Yeah. My niece was born that year. He played 82 games in the show. First with the Chicago Blackhawks. Then he played with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and that was the last place he played. Spent a lot of time up and down. Did not win a cup.
Okay.
Although he played 3 games for the Chicago Blackhawks in 2013 when they won the cup. 82 games. He had 10 goals, 12 assists for 22 points, 69 penalty minutes.
Ayo.
Wow.
2 penalty minutes in the playoffs. But his AHL career, here's where we're at. 333 games in the AHL.
Okay.
Most recently, his last games were played with the Hershey Bears in 2018-2019.
Okay.
Go Bears.
113 goals, 117 assists, 392 penalty minutes.
Wow.
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
Yeah, it will. He
Well
did
done.
spend a little time
Shout out to you.
overseas, as well as representing the United States in a bunch of in the World Junior Classic, where he won 2 gold medals. 31 games played for the U.S. in the junior level. 20 goals, 14 assists, 18 penalty minutes.
Nice. And you said his name is Jeremy, and he was last playing for the Bears, right?
He last played for the Bears.
That means he's in my area, right?
Maybe.
There you go.
And
I'm joking, I'm
he's
joking.
our age, so
I'm saying.
it does not
It's
say
a
what
joke.
he is doing now.
Well, hopefully he's doing something fun. I mean,
Indeed. But Jeremy, if you happen to listen to this, congrats! You are our
Yeah, dude.
obscure player of the week, and that is becoming a famed tradition. Or at least we hope it will be. I don't
we
know.
hope so.
Listen.
You let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah. Let us know if you love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I think this is probably our shortest recording ever. Save for maybe when we argued about which team's sweaters looked better.
No, that was like a 2-hour fucking recording.
Yeah, that one. That one
we
went
cut
a
up.
while.
We cut that down
fair,
to like an
that's
hour
fair.
and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? We're wrapping up the season, y'all. There's really not a whole lot to talk about. There haven't been major headlines. At least, I mean, you got 4 teams going at this point. So
Yeah.
what are the major headlines going to be?
For real.
Right.
But we're excited. We're excited to finish this thing out this season, with the Stanley Cup, championship games, and then hopefully to cover some of draft day.
Yeah.
As that's coming up at the end of next month as well. I think it's like the 26th or something like
I
that.
think so.
Right.
Also, stay
Yeah.
tuned. We may have a guest next week for a special little segment. You never know.
You never know.
you
You
never
never know
know.
what can happen here. Anything
Exactly.
can happen.
Anything
bunch
and
of crazy
anything and everything at LTN Media will most likely
I
happen
mean,
at some point.
Absolutely.
And
And you know
conform.
what? I'm gonna pat all of us on the back for being really calm this week and last
Yeah.
and the week before. I don't think we did any hooting and hollering. So congratulations
Well, I
to
mean,
us.
I wasn't here last week, so
Yeah, that's fair. I'm sure.
fair.
I'm sure she had something that she had on her chest that
did.
she didn't get to say it all.
But to be honest, I've been keeping up with like the scores and the stats of it, but I haven't watched a lot of like at least
Yeah.
not the entire hockey games.
Yeah.
So
I know, and I've been working so much the past couple weeks
Yeah.
that I'm like
Mhm.
trying to watch what
Right.
I can when I can.
right,
When I work
right. So that
46
definitely
at-
helps. I get less fired up when I don't watch live, or in its entirety.
What did I work?
I've
Like
been watching
46
more.
hours last week. I
Yeah.
worked. So yeah.
Jeez.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
My parents are
anyway.
annoyed because whenever I go over to visit, I'm like, "There's a hockey game on. We could watch that." And they're like, "No." And I'm like,
but we
"Why
could
don't I
watch
come over
that.
here?" And they're like, "I
Right?
don't know. Go back to your place." Jeez. I'm like,
Also
y'all
for
have
you
free food.
for you sports
Right.
fans, I don't think we've talked about it over here. Coming up in a few weeks, we'll be launching the Sports Room, which will be a live sports show over on our Twitch channel. So if
Yeah.
you guys are interested in that, it's myself and our newest staff member Willie. And we're gonna be covering everything. And we'll probably leave most of, if not like the majority of all the hockey stuff here. But obviously
Yeah.
we'll cover little stuff in football and racing and lacrosse and everything. So,
Yeah,
if you guys are interested in that, check it out. We aren't sure the exact date, but we'll be coming to you guys in a few weeks.
Absolutely. As soon as we know, y'all will know.
Oh hell yeah.
In the meantime, though, leave us your questions down below and maybe we will ask or we will try and answer it next week. You never know whether or not you ever actually get an answer from
For real.
Right.
me.
And if you guys want to leave us an
Um,
audio message, go to
Yeah, we're still doing that.
anchor.fm/puckedup and
Yep.
you guys can leave us an audio message and we can play it on the show.
You can ask your question in audio form.
Or you can
Absolutely.
bitch about
Fun.
the officiating or teams that are in or whatever.
Or you can tell
Right.
us how much you love Bruce Boudreau and we can just compile
Yes.
and have an entire episode of everyone being like, we love him. Bruce
And
is
if
the
we can
best."
get
Bruce,
Bruce on, that would
man.
be,
Dude, Bruce, call
Bruce
me.
is legit.
Bruce, call
Like,
all of
Such a
us.
cutie.
Right?
You
He's
coached
interesting.
literally
Like-
for all of our teams. Come-
Literally all of our
Yeah,
teams. This
yeah,
is the
he's
podcast
coached
you
all
should
three.
come on.
This is exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And we all know
Most
the
recently
Wild
with
were
me.
your favorite. That's okay.
Well, we were your most recent, so we're like your babies, so we're a favorite in a different way.
You had the most success with us.
Okay, so
No.
we're all your favorites, just in 3 different ways.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us this week. We will see you, Mother Puckers, in the face-off circle next week.